Hello fellow old schoolers. So we're gearing up for the next battle of the Eel Castle Cup at table number 1. In the last match we saw the deck called the Answer winning against Pink Triple S. So he's at the table number 1 at this point in time, the King of the Hill, and we have a new challenger, namely a pretty unorthodox robot deck here. And we have it here. There's this book called Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? And I think we have the answer here. The answer is they don't. They dream of the underworld. So a pretty original take here. Usually you'll have one of the strengths of the robot archetype is that it functions so well with the colorless mana. But this one has put in 3 Underworld Dreams, a very mana intensive card. So in essence it's kind of like Composition A in a mid-range archetype combined with Underworld Dreams as a luck against the other guy. So as soon as he's pretty low in life, when you get the dreams out, he can't draw into answers and he'll be overrun. But it does require this guy to have 4 Cities of Brass, which is pretty damn unorthodox in a robot deck. He also has a couple of Felva Stones. And the creature base, 4 Sushis, 3 Triskelions, nothing odd here. The 4 copy artifacts is just full on steam here. We have a couple of Abyss and 2 Soft Plushers as the creature removal, no balance, that's in the sideboard. And then we have a couple of Icy Manipulators to win the creature battles. I do like Icies, they're so versatile, especially in this deck when you have the workshop to get them out. And a single book just to get some additional card advantage. This deck is not fully powered, but pretty damn close. 4 Moxen, no Lotus, no Time Twister, but there's this Wheel of Fortune instead that can be cast with the Red Mox or the Cities of Brass. Bit of a control package as well, 3 counterspells and a mana drain. Only 3 factories, likely because he needs to hardcast those Underworld Dreams. And we actually see that the Answer also only has 3 cities, 3 Mistress factories here, which is a bit unorthodox. In the sideboard, pretty unorthodox as well. 2 Circular Protection Red and a Circular Protection Black. And that Circular Protection Black is rarely seen as a sideboard option, but it might come in handy against his opponent that has so much black damage dealing. Speaking of which, let's get over to his opponent here. We went through this deck in the previous match. It is also a mid-range deck, so we have mid-range against mid-range here. A heck of a lot of books is the twists or the spin on this. So so we'll likely see a strategy where they'll have the creature battles try to remove each other's stuff, and as soon as there's a lull in the game, he'll try to get a book out and then draw into more threats and overwhelm the other guy. 3 books against 1 book, that might prove advantageous here, but it's difficult to say. We have 2 main deck, the Abyss in the other deck, and that can really put a spanner in the works against this one. After sideboard, we have the Divine Offerings likely to come in. But I don't know. This is going to be yet another hefty creature battle matchup. It seems 2 mid-range decks here going head to head. The Answer coming up against, I guess we could call it Robotic Dreams, or Dreams of the Robots. Let's get ready to rumble. So round number 1, fight. We have the Answer on the left here, and Dreams of the Robots on the right. Let's see who's on the play here. I don't really know who's the favorite in this matchup. Those Abyss seems kind of strong. Oh, we have a mulligan out of the Answer here. But I guess, the Answer will have that card advantage from the books, and also a heck of a lot of removal against the robots, especially after sideboard when the Divine Offerings comes in, on top of all the disenchants and Soft Plowshares. So we might maybe a slight favorite for robots in the initial match, and then the Answer might have some change. It's difficult because the other guy has 4 copy artifacts and he can copy the books. I don't know. It seems like it can go very much both ways, this one. Okay, starting off here, the answer on the play after Mulligan, City of Brass. Both players just deploying lands here. One Mox out of Dreams of the Robots here. That's the case with these two when mid-range decks comes up against each other. Spectre coming out. It's kind of slow in the beginning when they are amassing their resources. Answers to Recall coming out. He needs an answer against this Spectre. He does have the Abyss and 2 Swords to Plowshares against it, and he has another lane drop. He can play an Abyss. It's actually okay. He could play the Abyss even without that. Mind Twisting for 4 here. Brutal start. But then electing to, just hitting the other guy while he can. And bracing for impact against that Spectre. Losing a card of his own. And a Factory comes in for good measure as well. 4 points of damage, losing a Sushi. Alright. So, the clock is really on the answer here. He needs to finish this game or get an equalizer before the card advantage becomes too much, as having lost his entire hand. Underworld Dreams coming out against him here. That Spectre still stands unopposed. It might rectify the card advantage slowly here, unless we have a Swords to Plowshares. Factory coming out. Can't pump itself at this point. Chaos Orb coming out. Spectre coming in for another poke. Will it nick a card? Yeah, he has a Disenchant in hand. Probably debating whether to use it on the Chaos Orb. Chooses not to. He might nick the Disenchant and then he can Chaos Orb the Underworld Dreams. Getting in, taking the card. Copy Artifact though, the Disenchant still in effect. Oh, and he doesn't use the Chaos Orb on the Underworld Dreams. Alright. Likely keeping it in hand against a bigger threat. Oh, Chaos Orb against Chaos Orb. So they nullify each other. You can Chaos Orb the other guy's Chaos Orb when he activates it. Now attacking with the Factory. Counter-attacking here. Yeah, the clock is still on the answer here. Taking more damage here from the Underworld Dreams and the Factory. Now, he tries to activate the Chaos Orb when the other guy tries to Chaos Orb his Spectre, and there's a Disenchant on the Chaos Orb. So a big sequence here. Chaos Orb flip hits. That was a crucial sequence of the game here. Chaos Orbing that Spectre, that was the big equalizer. Didn't have an answer for it. And when the answer tried to Chaos Orb the Chaos Orb as a response, there was a Disenchant on his own Chaos Orb. Making that flip work has put Dreams of the Robots really in the driver's seat here. Now he just needs to get a robot out. Attacking with the Factory, it's a Swords to Plowshare greeting it. But still that Underworld Dreams. But as a field day for the Factory, the Abyss won't touch it, and no blocking Factories. Though we see the answer is pretty mana starved here, and there's the Triskelion to finish the game. He's really mana starved. He has Sushis in hand but can't really play them because his lands has been mind twisted away. Spectre coming out. I mean, forcing the Triskelion to use its guns, I suppose, to make it smaller. No, I guess the Abyss will just eat it up, won't it? So I suppose it can just block the Trisk. Yep. Saving him 4 points of damage. He needs another lane. There's a 4th lane. Sushi coming out likely. Yeah, there we have it. The Abyss won't touch that robot, and it can block the Triskelion all day. Still, that unanswered Underworld Dreams, and there's a Swords to Plowshare on the Sushi. Triskelion coming in. Yeah, this will go fast here. Okay, he tries to activate blocking Factories here. He's giving it a good think. This is could be quite complicated because because he can use the Trisk. So he double pumps with the Factories. So they both become 3/3. He can shoot one of them, it won't matter. He'll take a single Factory with him, and then he'll die. No, he sacrifices the Triskelion and shoots the player instead. I think that's correct. Bringing the answer down to 2 points of life, and the dream will put him to 1, and that's game. Yeah, he didn't draw into a disenchant in time. Finished by the dreams, and the Triskelion sacrificing itself, just shooting the player instead of taking a factory with him. So it's 1-0 for the robot deck. It's difficult to say who's the favorite. It might still be the robot deck because you have all those copy artifacts against the sushis and books from the answer. But the answer has a lot of aggro on his side, and it's pretty light defenses on the robot side. We have a couple of ICs, 2 Abyss, and a couple of Softer Plowshares. So in essence, we saw that in this first match it was actually that early Mind Twist that just sealed the deal. The answer didn't draw into any equalizers, but even then, that single Spectre was unopposed for so long that it almost equalized the entire thing, nicking 2 or 3 cards on its own. So that is definitely a weak point for the robot deck here, that he doesn't have a lot of removal before sideboard against such Spectres. In the end, it wasn't enough though. So yeah, we'll see after sideboard who's the favorite. We'll likely see some Divine Offerings out of the answer, and yeah, additional removal out of robots. So we shall see how these decks pair up in the second match after sideboard.
Let's get ready for round number 2.
Yeah, we'll see if the increased Divine Offerings. I would imagine the robots keeps his ICs and copy artifacts in. Should, if he can, get some additional Swords to Plowshares. I can't remember if he had them. Oh, another mulligan out of the answer here. That's not what you need in this second match here. I think he actually had to mulligan in the first match as well. Bit unlucky here. Cutting the deck. Okay, brand new hand. Let's just hope for a game here. Can't mulligan too much unless... Okay, he keeps this hand, and then he's on the play. Scrubland, go. Okay, tutor. First turn here, no blue mana. We don't know if he has any in hand. If he has, it'll likely be an Ancestor Recall. Otherwise, I don't know. Maybe a Workshop or Mind Twists if he has additional mana. There's a Divine Offering on the hand and a Softer Plowshare on the hand of the answer here. Okay, waiting for the other guy to picking his card. He likely considers whether he should crack the Mox, because if there's a Mind Twist, he wants to remove all the mana he can. He does so here. Divine Offering on the Mox Pearl. It will... If he had tutored for a Mind Twist, it will, but he didn't. He likely tutored for that Ancestor Recall. Had a City of Brass in hand. Still, it makes sense, that play out of the answer. Chaos Orb coming down. Activating the Chaos Orb in the City of Brass. That's fair as well. Cracking that card in the... Yeah, it's perfect hit here. Cracking that card, that land in the opening might mana screw the opponent. Really holding him back. Cracking the Mox, cracking the City of Brass, but there's another Mox and a Tundra. It's always difficult when the other guy gets an Ancestral out. Chaos Orb. Because he might draw out of any mana starvation here. Activating it. Okay, taking... Yeah, the black mana source, that's evil. Perfect hit again. These guys are pretty damn stable in their mana Chaos Orb flips here. But I think getting the answer out of double black mana is probably a good idea. It's just a land destruction game, this one. Strip mining the Tundra. Factory coming out. But I do think the robot will likely have a more stable mana base. There's so much colorless requirement in his deck, where the answer really needs that double black mana in order for it to work. He does have a Mind Twist in hand, the answer here, but he lacks the black mana. Can't play it. Only has a plateau and a factory. So cracking that Scrubland was a brilliant move. Disenchant here. We're continuing pressuring the mana here. Totally different game from the first one. This is so scarce in resources. A Mind Twist for 1. getting a Black Lotus. That was a brutal pick, actually. Okay, he drew into a Badlands, though. I wonder why he didn't play the Black Lotus into the Mind Twist. He likely didn't have it. Now the other guy has to discard. Discarding a Brain Geyser here. Really starvation of resources. Oh, it wasn't a Mind Twist, it was a tutor. Okay. Yeah, what's a pick here? You might actually choose to either get a book if you can get a 4th mana source, or just get a 2nd black mana source. I don't know. Maybe an Underground Sea. I can't see if he has any blue mana because of the recording equipment. It's in a way. Oh, it's a balance. Oh, that's cheeky. The other guy has a full hand. That's another way to Mind Twist, and probably a lot more efficient. Sacrificing 1 land. That's just a killer move. Discarding a bunch of cards here. And there's the 3rd mana source. Both players, yeah, he gets a free hit in here. Not a lot of bloodshed in this game. It's all about destroying mana. Spectra coming out after the Mind Twist, or after the balance, I mean. Also well done, tutoring for that balance. Did he draw a softer plowshare? That's the question. Having the factory, copying the factory. Oh, that's brutal. Copying now, can't really copy the factory anymore, as he removes the target of the copy artifact with the Source to Plowshare. Now getting in with the Hypnotic Spectre. Ooh, nicking another card. Getting at risk. Robots always needs 4 mana sources for it to work, and he just lost that factory. Spectre coming in again. No Source to Plowshare. That's what I mentioned. It's really... he really suffers from not having enough removal in that deck in this situation. Can't really handle that Spectre. Now a Troll coming out. Clawing back into the game, the answer is here. Okay, we get an Icy. And that copy artifact was a Mox, obviously. Gets 5 points of damage in. Kept that Icy safe in his hand. Lucky for him. Now he can tap down one of them. Tapping the Troll, Spectre gets in. 4 points of life left. Divine Offering on the Icy at his end step. That's game. He'll get in for 4. So the answer takes the second one. Really a nail biter here. And yeah, I imagine that they would be pretty equally matched, especially after sideboarding when the Divine Offerings comes in. I think it is a lot easier to sideboard against robots than it is to sideboard against the answer. Now there's another round of sideboarding here. Maybe a change of tactics out of dreams of the robots here. So yeah, moving into the third and final round of this match, we shall see how this plays out. Let's get ready. Round 3. After the second sideboard, enters a recall on the hand of robots here, but he doesn't have any much mana, does he? He mulligans. Didn't have any mana. Okay, so now it's the Dreams of the Robot's turn to mulligan. I do hope he'll keep the second hand here. We don't want a non-game. I think if you're not against Blackwise and you have a single blue mana and then it's just a recall, that's fine. That's a keep. If you are against Blackwise, it's very risky. But I don't think he had any blue mana. But he keeps the hand. Okay. So slight disadvantage is on the play though. Max Burial. Oh, Workshop. Sushi, turn 1. Oh, he had a starting Workshop. That is so much pressure early on. When a robot deck gets this opening, I see tapping the land. Oh, that's a beautiful start out of robots coming in with the Sushi. Tapping the Underground Sea in his upkeep. We need a white mana source and some removal. And he actually likely needs 2 mana, open mana here. That workshop really producing a lot of artifacts here. 8 points of damage from the sushi. Now tapping that 100, the white mana source. Correctly played. Another white mana source here. What do we have? Do we have a divine offering? Time walking, yeah, makes sense. Now he gets a full untap phase. What will he get? He needs something to remove a blocker or something to remove that icy. It is a brutal 1-2 punch here, because even if he gets down a blocker here, he can just tap it with his icy and move in again. Icy's main, they're good. 4 mana sources. He has a book. Don't think he has the time for that. He needs something here. Oh, he has a balance in hand, doesn't he? Yeah, he will lose a lot of cards in his hand, but at least he'll get rid of the sushi. I think he should. I think it's too dangerous to keep the sushi alive. He's taken so much damage already, and if the other guy draws into another blue mana source, maybe he can counter now. Again, pretty difficult for me to see the end of the table here. I don't think he can counter. I think you should move in with the balance now. The sushi will just be tapped. I think you have to. Otherwise it's 12 points of damage all in all next turn. He'll lose a bunch of stuff. Yeah, I think there's no other choice. He'll lose a land, and he'll also lose some cards in hand. No, he doesn't lose a land. Lose some cards in hand, and the icy will stay. So it's not perfect, but it's way better than taking 4 points of damage again from that sushi. Now having to discard. Scrambling to survive and put a break on the game here because of that workshop start out of robots. Really need to stall for time here, and I think the balance play, it was necessary. Okay, getting rid of a book, a Badlands, and a troll. So he kept the sushi. There's another sushi though. Oh man. Yeah, but yeah, he gets a sushi at his end step. He'll likely get tapped by the icy. No, there's even a disenchant. Oh man. Okay, I think this might be. It's really bad for the answer here. Get a Spectre. Yeah, okay. Just all the answers here. Soft Plowshare on the Spectre. Tapping the factory for good measure. Ancestral Recall. Hot damn. This is brutal. And so she comes in for yet another swing. The vampire, but I mean the icy combination. It is so brutal. He just taps it at his end step. And he can trade all day. 4 points of damage again. This is nuts. Yeah, that's game. Dreams of the Robots takes this one. Or Dreaming Robots. I don't know what to call it. But it takes this one 2-1. Very close match, the first two. Very different matches, actually. First one being a back and forth. Second match being a theme of land destruction and pressured resources. And the third game, yeah, it was just that early workshop. It's too difficult to keep up. It didn't draw into removal here in time. The balance was a valiant effort in order to stall the game, but it was just too much. Another sushi and an icy backup. Yeah, too much for the answer to handle here. So we have a new king of the hill here, king of the mountain. Dreaming Robots crashing into table number 1. Let's see if he can keep that seat in the next match when a new challenger arrives. I'll catch you in the next one.